Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slang Hope. And yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time since I went live. It's been a little while. How y'all doing out there? I hope everything is good. Hope y'all safe and sound. I hope y'all enjoy your holidays. For those of you who don't know, I don't really celebrate the holidays. Um, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there do. So hopefully y'all safe. Hopefully y'all enjoyed your family. But yeah, what's up, Hannah? Um, I don't really, this is just another day for me. But I hope you enjoyed your holidays. But yeah, I don't really do New Year resolutions and stuff like that. But for the people that do, I think, not that I think, that the gender shit need to be left alone. I'm good. How you doing? The gender shit need to be left in your Gregorian year of 2022. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, that stuff gonna be the death of us, honestly. And a lot of people, I want to show you a few video clips. I got a few video clips. But a lot of people is like every day you come on the internet, you go on social media, is constant verbiage of like gender stuff, right? Like it's this constant like, but man this, woman this, men that. Like it's this constant stuff going on. And people, I don't know if people realize or not, but it's actually really destroying us. Um, it's not conducive. It's not really helping us. It's creating a lot of confusion. It's creating a lot of separation. It's creating a lot of issues, right? Um, So it's a lot of stuff going on, right? And in the name of being progressive, like we are living in a society today where you could just wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden you're a woman or a man. They trying to blur the lines between gender. They trying to blur the lines between masculinity and femininity. They are trying to just create all of this confusion in the name of being progressive and stuff like that. But in reality, it's really hurting people. So I just want to share a few video clips. Because the reality is men need women and women need men. Like we need to stop playing the stupid games. We need to stop feeding into the stupidity, right? There's a reason why women are built a certain way and men are built a certain way. Women have certain things that men don't have. Men have certain things that women don't have, right? Women are better at doing certain things and men are better at doing other things. And when we come together, right? Because we are opposites and opposites usually attract. When we come together, we create this wholeness, this yin and this yang. This is why a masculine woman cannot be with a man, with a masculine man, right? Because they're gonna clash. A feminine woman cannot be with a feminine man. They're gonna clash. Even in same-sex relationships, right? Somebody is top, somebody is bottom, right? So it's still an opposite kind of thing, right? So this is just an example of like you're supposed to be with the opposite, right? That's just human nature, regardless, right? But what they're doing, they're creating this confusion. They're trying to tell women like, no, it's okay. You could do whatever the man could do. And they're trying to tell the man, no, it's all right. You could do whatever the woman could do. And then nobody's playing their role. And then society is kind of like, we having issues. We see that, right? We see the disintegration of the family structure. We see like people not playing their roles. So it's just causing a lot of confusion and issues and dysfunction and destruction. So I want to play this video real quick. I got a few video clips. So I'm gonna play this video clip for y'all real quick.
This war between masculinity and femininity. What are you witnessing from the inside through your work?
I have seen over the years in my practice a steady decline in the expression of healthy masculinity and healthy femininity amongst my patients. In the last 2 years, I've seen a complete collapse. Men in my practice, especially younger men in their teen years, their 20s, early 30s, have no ability to express desire for women in a healthy way, to interact with women verbally and socially in a healthy way. And many of them have no desire to even be engaged in a sexual relationship with a woman. They have substituted their libido and their expression of libido by pursuing women, which is a healthy thing for men to do. If men stop pursuing women, we're done. We don't have more human beings. They're no longer doing that. They're now sitting at home playing video games and watching porn because it's safer and it's easier to do that. And they will never be rejected, and they will never be criticized. They will never be told that they are toxic, that they are part of the patriarchy, that they are misogynistic, that they are committing a social faux pas. So they have given up. They've just taken themselves out of the dating world. They've taken themselves out of the social world with women. And women on their part are completely perplexed. They don't know what to do. They're alone. They feel abandoned. They feel unattractive. They feel undesirable. They can't find a date, much less a husband. They can't get married. They can't have children. The separation between the male and the female is almost complete now. And it's due specifically to the ongoing attacks against masculinity and the degradation of femininity, the propaganda that has been pushed by the radical feminists that define success for women to be competition with men, vanquishing men, full and complete independence from men. You don't need a man, which is a biological and social lie. That has been so successful that now both men and both women think that they can live apart. But the truth is they can't, because when they come into my practice and I ask them how they're doing, they're not doing well. The men are completely without a course. They are listless. They are dysphoric. They are dysthymic. The women are depressed and anxious, and none of them are talking to one another. So this attack on masculinity and femininity is, in my view, undergirding a large degree of the psychological distress, particularly in younger people right now. And as they continue to lead these separate parallel paths of isolation, there will be no way for them to develop the skills and even the desires that are necessary for them to get together and to marry and to have children and develop families. And if our family structure is lost in the next generation, what do we have left? We're just a bunch of listless individuals living our lives out virtually behind a computer screen, working remotely, and following the orders of the government.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to pay attention to what he said, because the video was like 3 minutes long. One of the things he mentioned, he said attack on masculinity, right? And we constantly see that when men are operating in their masculine ways, a lot of times people try to suppress the masculinity of certain men, right? Like they try to call it toxic. They try to say, things to kind of like make men suppress their masculinity. When in reality, the real issue is that men are not really being masculine, right? They most of their teachers are women. They're constantly being told, most of the time they might be even being raised by a single mom, right? So there's a lack of healthy masculinity that's not going around, right? So the real issue is that there's too much feminine influence on men, right? So there's an attack on the men just being masculine, right? And then you have the degradation of femininity, which is why I feel like some women don't even want to be considered soft and nurturing and caring, right? It's almost like they look at it like it's a disrespect. Make sure you like the video so it can circulate. It's almost like women don't want to be feminine because they view femininity as weak, as like, and it's like, that's so far from the truth, right? We need that, right? Because if the man is naturally strong and tough and masculine and aggressive, and he has all these other things, we need that softness. We need that nurturing. We need that feminine aspect. You get what I'm saying? But it's a degradation. It's almost like it's not being respected, right? And a lot of our sisters have been tricked into not liking the fact to be feminine, to be nurturing, to be cooperative. Even like the word submissive, it just triggers a lot of women, right? So this is kind of like some of the things that we are seeing with this whole gender. And the brother, the dude mentioned in the video how this is disintegrated and destroying the family structure. And he, he made a lot of good points. And he was saying how a lot of times men are even afraid nowadays to kind of like even approach women because they don't want to, like, you can't even try to like approach a woman nowadays because some women will be like, oh, he catcalling me, oh, he harassing me, oh, they doing this, he doing that. So a lot of guys is even like, damn, I don't even want to approach the situation. They rather, like he said, they rather sit at home, play video games, watch porn, or just sit around in dating apps and try to talk to women that way, right? Or on social media because they are afraid. And then at the same time, so some of these guys is like, you know what? I'm not even going to approach these girls. These girls are crazy. They're feminists. They're toxic. They're this. And then on the other hand, the women are kind of like feeling even more insecure. Like, damn, why the dude's not talking to me? Why the dude's not approaching me? Why? So, and of course, this is not everybody. But he just made some points that there's an agenda. There is an attack on masculinity and attack on femininity, right? For in the name of being progressive. So I want to show you another video real quick.
And women are the most powerful force on the planet. You can ask billionaires whether they're having a good day or a bad day. And a lot of that will come down to not just the business, but a lot will come down to their relationship with their woman at the time, whether they've argued with their wife or not. They have massive impact on a man's life. And making sure you're around quality women who genuinely support you, genuinely love you, and genuinely care for you is extremely important. I think I've spoken about this before. I said it's a man's job to financially and physically protect a woman, but it's a woman's job to spiritually protect her man. And no matter how difficult life gets, if you have a woman who's by your side and you know truly loves you and truly wants the best for you, it gives you a source of power which you can't get from anywhere else in the universe.
I really like, Tate gets a lot of backlash for the way he say things and some of the things that he say. But I really did enjoy that video because he basically mentioned like some of the need that men have for women, right? And I said this before in another video in a post. I said like one of the best assets that a man can have is a righteous woman, right? And he just mentioned that like the energy, like the inspiration that a man gets from a woman, right? And how like that whole energy could be off. Like a man's whole day could be off based on what is the relationship or how is what's the word I'm looking for? What is the interaction with his woman on that day, right? So that's just one of the examples. There's a whole bunch of other things that we need women for, right? But I like how he kind of like broke that down, like how the trajectory of a day of a man goes based on like how his relationship is with his woman or on what terms are they at the moment, right? I want to show you this other video too.
It's okay to be a man.
It's not okay. It's necessary. What the hell are we going to do without men? You look around the city here, you see all these buildings go up. These men, they're doing impossible things. They're under the streets, working on the sewers. They're up on the power lines in the storms and the rain. They're keeping this impossible infrastructure functioning, this thing that works in a miraculous manner. They work themselves to death. And often, literally, the gratitude for that is sorely lacking, especially among the people who should be most grateful. You see university professors, especially of the social justice bent, they take everything they have for granted, failing to understand entirely that there's a massive infrastructure of unbelievably hardworking, solidly laboring, working-class men breaking themselves in half on a regular basis, making sure that everything that always breaks works.
That's just a prime example, man. Like man damn near build society, right? The buildings, the bridges, all the infrastructure you just seen, a lot of the stuff that sometimes you don't see, right? So when you hear some of these women come out and say you don't need men, it's like they don't even realize that oftentimes the homes they live in, the shelter that you have taken was built by a man, right? The road that you drive on was built by a man, right? The bus that you probably get on, the train that you ride, the planes, right? Like it's like, and I'm not saying that some women didn't help, but but let's just be real. Predominantly, these are generally male dominated spaces. And it's like, it's almost like men don't get the recognition, right, that they deserve. So sometimes, so when you hear some of these women talk, and we know it's pain, it's hurt, and it's propaganda that they've been fed, that they don't need a man, right? And so it's just like I said, man, y'all gotta leave that shit in the past, man. I'm tired of, like, every time I come on, it's just like, yo, it's just like this competition, like we competing, like, and it's mainly like the sisters that's been that, and I don't want to make this divisiveness, but our sisters been fed this, like, you don't need a man, you don't need a man, you could do that shit without him, you don't need a, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of our sisters is taking pride in being single mothers. They taking pride in baby showers. Like, we have replaced marriages with baby showers, you know, like this whole, like, I'm strong, I'm independent, and then, like, yeah, it's just disheartening. It's just disheartening. It's destroying our communities, and we need to stop playing the games that we are playing. And I want to play this last clip for y'all.
Why is black women one separate entity and black men are another separate entity? That's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how any other race operates, but we're the only ones who operate like that and think it's functional. You feel me? I've said it before. Why do we get the label of strong, independent black woman? We don't hear that from nobody else. I've never heard strong, independent white woman, strong, independent Asian woman, strong, independent Latino woman, strong, independent Indian woman. I ain't never heard none of that. But we pride ourselves to being strong, independent black women, as if independence is something that we should strive for as a people. Independence is death. Everybody needs somebody. And the reason why we're struggling in our households and our communities is because we think that there's something good about being independent. Black women need black men, and black men need black women.
Yeah, man. So we you know, our communities have been fed this propaganda, and it's so sad, right? Because the same white feminists that will sit here and tell a black woman and preach all that bullshit to them, they go home to their white husbands, right? They don't practice that shit in the same way that they got our sisters out here practicing that shit. They feed you that feminist shit, and then they go home to their white husbands. Beyonce sat out here and made songs like All the Single Ladies and Woman Run the World and all this other shit, but she goes home to her husband. She goes home to her husband. They tricking y'all. They tricking y'all with the music, with the propaganda. You know, Candace Owens said this, right? He said the only thing black women have tricked themselves out of is not having a man to protect you, to be by your side. Because they don't fed you this. You think independence is life. No, you heard the sister. She said it's death. We are social creatures. We've been doing this since the beginning of time, living in communities, working with each other. You get what I'm saying? Like, so this whole idea of, like, I don't need no, like, we just been fed this individualism of I don't need nobody. I'm good all by myself, when we know that's not even human nature. Let me play this video again, because she went in. She said, like, black woman is the only woman that say they are strong, independent woman. The Asian woman don't do that. The white woman don't say that. The Latino woman don't say that. We only hear black women say this shit. Let me play the video again.
Why is black women one separate entity and black men are another separate entity? That's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how any other race operates, but we're the only ones who operate like that and think it's functional. You feel me? I've said it before. Why do we get the label of strong, independent black woman? We don't hear that from nobody else. I've never heard strong, independent white woman, strong, independent Asian woman, strong, independent Latino woman, strong, independent Indian woman. I ain't never heard none of that. But we pride ourselves to being strong, independent black women, as if independence is something that we should strive for as a people. Independence is death. Everybody needs somebody. And the reason why we're struggling in our households and our communities is because we think that there's something good about being independent. Black women need black men, and black men need black women.
She couldn't have said that any better. But, you know, people gonna do what they gonna do. So whoever's gonna take heed is gonna take heed. I appreciate whoever came through tuning in. I just think that, like, brothers, we need to get back to like what we need to get back to. Some of us are lacking in our masculinity. Like I said, they're playing all of these weird games in society. They're trying to blur the lines. They're trying to tell you you could just wake up and be a woman. Tomorrow you could be a man. Like, they're creating all this confusion. They're feeding us certain things that is giving us too much estrogen. Our women are becoming too masculine. Our men are becoming sensitive. Like, it's just a lot of confusion going on in our society today. And I think like there's a little added seasoning, especially when it comes to the Black community, right? I feel like they covertly going harder on the Black community, because I feel like feminism is not having the same effects on the other woman that it's having on the Black woman, right? It's like the white woman, she doesn't go out there and try to bang on her man, right? She wants to be just like him. But the Black woman, on the other hand, she takes these ideologies and she tries to destroy her man. She's like in this competition and constantly trying to destroy her man and talk shit about her man, right? The white woman ain't really necessarily doing that. She just want to be just like her man. So it's clear that when the juice gets drank, I don't even know if that's a proper term, but when our sisters drink the juice, they have a whole totally different reaction to it, right? So I need to leave that shit in the past. We need to improve our relations. We need to be better at dealing with our men and our women, our children, and just creating better families. But I'm about to get up out of here. I just came here real quick to kind of like share these thoughts with y'all. I appreciate the people that tuned in. I'm about to get back to the football game, you know what I'm saying? The Jets playing. But I want y'all to just be mindful, man, of the stuff that they're feeding us and the propaganda, and how this stuff is not helping none of us. Like, people don't have like no cohesive families, not even relationships, bro. Like, this shit is crazy. It's crazy what's going on. But let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comment section. The video going to be up for y'all to watch it, share it, like, subscribe. And let me know what y'all thoughts are, and if y'all agree with the video, if y'all disagree, or any other thoughts that y'all might have. But y'all take care, y'all stay blessed, and let's be more intentional in our relationship, right? Especially with the opposite sex, and work with the people who is willing to work with you, right? Some of these sisters is not going to get it. They're too hurt, too traumatized, too far gone. I wouldn't even encourage people to waste your time on people who are too far gone. Some people are not committed to understanding or seeing things in a different light. Some people, they just can't help but to see things from their own perspective, right? And that's just a human thing, right? But the more hurt you are, the more traumatized, the more indoctrinated you are, the harder it is for you to see things from somebody else's angle. So, and that's just going to be how it's going to be, right? We can't do something for certain people, but I encourage us to work with the people who get it, work with the people who want to understand, work with the people who is hip to the game and the plans and the agenda of like society. We're just gonna say society, right? But yeah, y'all stay safe and let me know y'all thoughts, and y'all be good out there, and let's be kind to one another. Peace.